20 minutes.
Okay, I just want to make.
So we have a podcast.
Welcome, everybody. Hey, listen,
So we have a
welcome,
podcast.
everybody. Hey, listen, we got Jim and Jamie Sheils here, and they are souls on fire. How you doing today?
Good morning, Carrie.
Good to see you again.
Oh my gosh, listen, you have it's my favorite video ever when I called you last spring, about a year ago, and I said, listen, I got some good news for you all. And then Jamie, I think you must have been over there. Jim was over here. He got you together, and we announced that you had made the Wall Street Journal #1 bestseller. What's happened in the last year, my friends?
Well, I want to start with that. That was a pretty surreal moment for us. We were in our favorite little village where we live part-time in Costa Rica, walking with friends, touring them through. And that was one of the most memorable calls we've ever had. You know, I'm chasing
In a good way.
Yeah, we got a toddler melting down in the little boutique store, and we got that news. So that sticks as one of our favorite stories. So you know.
Oh man, I was I recorded it because, with your permission.
Yeah, of course.
It was so indicative of.
I'm glad you did, so we could see what the heck happened. You know.
Oh,
we were so confused.
We were in awe. We're like, wait a minute.
#1. Wait. Oh yeah. No.
Like,
so crazy.
So some of us, our parents bought the book. This is incredible.
It's so good. And listen, 334 reviews. I mean, that, you know, I know big time authors that are struggling to get, 10. How does that feel to know like that? I mean, by now, what, this is your third version, and it's probably affected over 100,000 people easily.
Yeah, we estimate about 300,000 families are using our rhythms.
I believe it. I believe it. Well, that's fantastic. And you just got back, Jim, from the Northern Lights. Like, you literally put this into practice. We'll get into the second book here in a moment, but I do want to give people a little bit of your backstory. So tell us about this whole family board meeting, what it is, and why you just got back from Alaska, I think it was.
Well, we wanted to be very intentional about quality time. You know, when Jamie and I started this family, and as you know, we had a different type of start. We have 3 adopted children, 2 biological. You know, how we came together would have seemed very imperfect, but it's worked perfectly for us. And we wanted to make the most of that time together. And especially with my 2 oldest, I felt a little cheated because I missed, got them in my life at 7 and 5.
Wow.
And I wanted to make that time. And busy entrepreneur running 2 businesses, we created this simple rhythm to make sure they were staying in the forefront, that business wasn't getting in the way. And then also, as you know, I didn't want only my kids in the forefront, but I wanted my spouse, my most important partner. And so the 2 rhythms we talk about in the book seemed almost too simplistic to share, Carrie. But once we did, people went, wow, this makes so much sense. Thank you for mapping this out. And I'm going, we didn't think we did anything that special, but the feedback and the case studies that you put into the book of just people that have stayed in touch with us, it's just kept us in line. And that, the end of the 18th summer for Leland came, and we always try to go out with a bang. So one-on-one adventures together is what part of our book is about. And, being able to go to the Northern Lights, which was his dream, was quite a victory on so many levels for all of us. It's again pretty special.
We let each of the children, they know that that's a rite of passage. When they turn 18, they get a solo trip anywhere in the world to do anything they want. So our oldest one did fishing in the Alaska outer islands. What is that, right?
Yep, the Kodiak Islands.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow.
And so they did the grand adventure.
That's so good. Well, I mean, I'm dropping the link here because this is just too good not to share. So 18summers.com, folks, check it out. And I love the fact that you just celebrated 18 with your second oldest son.
Second oldest, yeah. And they say the biggest compliment, Carrie, that we've talked about this on podcasts and with experts. They say the biggest compliment that you can get is that your children pass the age of 18 and they still want to hang out with you. And that's a pretty simple test that, we're very proud that it's still happening for us. So we feel pretty good about that.
I always
so good.
Call that a parent worth coming back to. They hold tight to relationships that they know the door is open for, that they look forward to that connection.
I love that. A parent worth coming back to. Well, okay, great. Now the 18 Summers why did you do Passive Income Playbook? Because I see the connection as I spend time with you. Tell the connection for the person who's just learning this concept.
Well, the connection was people always said, wow, you guys are doing these incredible adventures and spending a few months out of the year in Costa Rica, and how are you going to Alaska and Australia and doing these things? How do you fund this?
It was such a perfect example that you gave earlier, that when you had the Wall Street Journal news to tell us we were with friends in our second home in a boutique, enjoying the day. We had our toddler with it. You know, it was just like, it was such a culmination of things showing that what we've worked so hard for professionally in passive income through build to rent real estate was funding this legendary life of being able to be with my spouse while playing with friends, while taking care of our children. It was like, it was a whole vibe. It was an entire picture that was like, this is it. And this is what other people need and want.
Yeah.
That's so good. That's so good. I remember one of these pictures on the back of your book. Remember where you're all jumping off the pier?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that is so good. So I love it though. You need to fund the lifestyle. And how easy, I mean, I already know because I've read the book, but how easy is it with this book as your guide?
Well, I think you cheat off of our blood, sweat, and tears. Remember, we've been real estate investor for almost 25 years. And honestly, stride really hit 10 years ago. So that's a big 15 years of ups, downs, the 08 meltdown, where we finally hit stride with the niche that we follow and the principles we got clear on. And we're just sharing that now with people. You know, and we work with today over 1,000 individual investor clients, just following what we do, how we do it. But you're getting a shortcut off our blood, sweat, and tears, which we're happy to do, because I don't want to see people have to go through what we went through. But I do want to see them have the prosperity that we've especially gotten to see over the last decade.
So people come to this amazing website, southernimpressionhomes.com, and literally in 2 clicks, they either say, I want to invest and generate income, or I want to buy a great home to live in. Talk about the 2 different camps here.
Yeah, well, we help people getting into their first home with new construction, and new construction takes a lot of risk out of the game for new home buyers. And new construction also takes a lot of risk out of the game for real estate investors, which is our main focus. And real estate investors, they don't realize, we've been able to see the biggest danger. And, our mutual friend, Dan Sullivan, talks about that first 3 to 5 years. That's pinnacle. It's make or break. And what we saw a common recipe going out there of certain types of investment property to buy that usually were completely overwhelming, completely financially draining, and getting people to raise the white flag within those 3 to 5 years.
Because so many things were breaking, so many things were unexpected. It was like a present that you keep unwrapping that wasn't always good.
Yeah, similar to Tom Hanks and Shelley Long's The Money Pit. Very, very, it just is such a played out situation. And so when we went into new construction, our whole model is we teach people how to own less property of better quality with better results. When I was taught, it was own as many properties as you can, which sacrificed quality, which sacrificed area, which sacrificed results
and time and
everything. And so we've said, wait a minute, what if we can build newer, better properties in better areas? Can we get better results? And the answer now, doing thousands of old fixer-uppers compared to thousands of new construction properties, the numbers don't lie. And it's very clearly there. And it's not only the return on investment, Carrie, for what we do, it's the ROT, the return on time. Again, it's the title of the book, what you help do, saying, wow, you're helping buy back people's time. Because most of the investors that we work with, they don't want to be full-time in real estate. They have a successful career. They have a successful practice. They have a successful business. They know they should be involved in real estate, but they really want to put up some guardrails of saying, hey, can I do this in a few hours a month? Because I'm not looking for a second or third career. And that's where our system really steps in to help people with that.
A lot of our clients have become really good friends too, because they implement the principles that we've brought over from the family board meeting, and date night with a question, and all of our other rhythms for a legendary family life. It's been really interesting to see our clients gain in income and also in their relationships.
Yeah,
I love that. I got to follow you both.
Well, yeah, I think, Carrie, with the case studies in the book of different clients that have had success, and you've read all the stories.
Oh, yeah.
It was fun to see every single one of those case studies, and we didn't know this until we started putting together the book with you. Every single one of the case studies that came up had actually worked with us on the family side. And we're like, isn't that an interesting core value? This is about real estate investing.
Wow.
Every person in the book, case study wise, also was involved with us on the family education, which we found really interesting.
It's the whole picture.
Yeah.
This is impressive, though. I mean, I love this because we're seeing the pictures, we're seeing the results. This isn't fake, folks. This is true. There's that picture I was telling you about.
It's so
They caught, I don't have that good of ups. Like that's the best jump I've ever done in my life.
That is good. That is
and
good.
It's so indicative of like me holding everything else down while
And me being a
total
lunatic.
Yes, I get that. I get that. This is fantastic. So what do you see happening? You know, if you say, hey, Carrie, 3 years from now, you got family board meeting, you got 18 summers, you got legendary family, you got all these things. What do you see as success in 3 years?
For ourselves? I mean, I think
For
so much of
ourselves or
ourselves
our
is our
readers?
clients.
Yeah.
Either.
Our readers, our families.
Yeah, give me your family, and then give me the movement that you've created.
The success is in the how. And that's where we've gotten really clear. And people are like, are you going to retire? Are you going to do more of this? Are you going to expand your family education? It's the how. Can I still wake up and walk the beach in the morning? Can I still take off and go to Costa Rica a few months out of the year? Can I still, be involved not only in causes we care about deeply, not only by writing a check, but getting in the trenches? It's the how. Can I live the how we want to live? So that the growth will depend on the how. I'm not sacrificing the how. I'm not sacrificing the lifestyle. And we've gotten really clear on that. And I'm hoping as we continue to systemize, align with, even better people, that this will continue to grow. But for Jamie and I, it's really important. Yeah, we'll grow the business, both family education with real estate investors and in the multiple states like we're doing now. But we're not willing to lose the how. If I can't be with my family,
it's not how much.
I've seen that because we've chatted on your marketing strategy, and you've said, look, if I can travel all over the world all the time, I don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be away from the family, all the time. So to me, that's really rare that you measure success in ways that maybe the world doesn't even measure it.
Yeah, it doesn't. And as long as we got to have the how, and what we have to do has to make an impact, on the family side, on the investment side. So as long as there's an impact and a need, we want to keep doing it. And the how has to be aligned. If I had to be away from my family 300 days a year, but the business could 50x, there's no temptation for me.
Wow.
I'm just a change maker.
I love it. Let's talk about somebody who's watching this and they're saying, yeah, but I've heard interest rates aren't good. What would you tell somebody who's trying to play the market of like, well, I'm going to invest at the perfect time? I'm sure you've seen like there is no perfect time.
Yeah, we're even dealing with this personally with our own son buying his first home and trying to bridge the idea of rates and house pricing and all of the pieces that go into market analysis.
Yeah. And for our overall business model, the nice thing about having an expert. So I don't know how to publish a book, Carrie. I mean, you saw that. You're like, you got this great book, and it's been, put out twice by you. Let me see what I can do with it. And then here we are in the Wall Street Journal, right? Yeah. That's your expertise. We're always trying to solve problems within our expertise and niche, right? And as Dan said, don't be afraid to go too small. So this question comes up to us all the time, and it has for years. So what do we do for our new construction? We provide in-house financing, or we're locking at interest rates 2-3% below what any mortgage company out there is offering right now. And we can explain in the book how we're able to do that. Again, just our whole model We spend so much time saying, how do we simplify and optimize? It's just what we're always saying. That's why
keeping it simple.
The suggestions of 15 years ago on properties to invest in would have been so different of today. And that's a good thing for the people, you know, who are stepping in today. So we're always just trying to do that. There's always answers for the experts where I'm going, well, gosh, Carrie, how do I get to Wall Street Journal? He said, let me figure it out. I'll give you the top line. Here's how we're going to do it. How do we get it to the hands of these bigger people? So when people ask us with those questions, how do we get insurance? Oh, and I kind of giggle. That's not hard. I don't know who's telling you that information. Well, how do we
always say we know a guy, like we have a guy literally for all of the pieces.
Yeah. So,
but I see what you're saying. I mean, you know, when I was wanting to be an entrepreneur and leave the safety and security of, you know, paycheck and being a pastor, it does. You think of health insurance, you know, all these things that are unknowns. And I think the unknowns scare us, but that's why your book is so powerful, because in your book, you're basically revealing the unknown.
Yeah.
We're trying to remove unknowns and risk. That's really what the book is about.
And fear too. And I think adding the layer of husband and wife, like we're literally in the trenches doing the same thing. And chances are we have even more children than most of them.
How many do you have?
We have 5 keepers, is what I say, and the rest is
Jamie's always got a couple extra around though, through foster care or kids coming to live with us for a short time.
Yeah, we have a revolving door, but 5 keepers.
That's interesting. So Jamie, maybe you can answer the question of the young lady who's watching and saying, she's a business owner, she's a mom, she's a wife, she's crushing it. How do you keep it together?
Oh gosh, there's a couple of things. One, you know, we talk about this in the book, how important the relationship with your spouse is, because honestly, everything else flows from there. Jim and I work together, we play together, we parent together, we business together. And it's so important that, like, tonight's date night, and we absolutely can't wait. It's like, is it 5:30 yet? So every week we go on a date night, we do quarterly overnights. We really prioritize our relationship so that when something in business comes up, it's not personal, it's business. When something with the children comes up, it's not, you know, it's not relational between the two of us. We can lead together. And I think that that's hugely, hugely important. And then also, I'm a pretty good delegator. I've gotten better over the years. I remember when Jim first wanted me to bring like a housekeeper, somebody to come clean the house once a week. When I finally agreed, I would be caught cleaning with the cleaners because I just couldn't let it go. Yeah. And so, you know, and as I've realized that everything that I delegate gives me back time with the children, time to play, time to date my husband, I realize, okay, I can do this because it's a divine exchange. I'm switching it out for something so much better. So, you know, delegating household tasks or anything that doesn't have to do directly with enjoying those things that I want to do. Yeah,
that's interesting. It really does come down to thinking. Like, you had to go through this whole mindset change. I love it. What about the person who didn't grow up with passive income, even as a concept? You know, they grew up in a home where,
like Jim and I.
Yeah.
It's so great. People always think that we're like trust fund kids or something.
Our mutual friend, I think, who introduced Mike Keening's, he had been to our family retreats. We had a friendship. He thought I was a trust fund kid. I said, not only was I not a trust fund kid, Jamie and I have helped retire our parents, not receive, which is a part of our story too. Like, that was a driver for us to have passive income and create wealth. And for people that don't realize that this is a complete mind shift, where it's that simple idea and concept of investing principal and living off interest. And that's what passive income is. But you have to know where to put that principal and how to handle that interest that's coming off of it back in. Where do you plant those seeds? How do you nurture those seeds? How do you look long term with them? You know, we always use the seed thing. If you plant a seed tomorrow, or if you eat it right away, Carrie, you're done. But if you plant it, you water it, you nurture it, man, you can be eating a lot of apples within a short 5 to 10 years. And that's what we try to say. Real estate really is like that. There has never been a 10-year span ever in our country's history where it was bad to hold real estate. As long as you're getting into the right areas with the right type of property and the right management and team. Never a 10-year span ever where it was a bad thing to do. And so we just want to help people plant those seeds, because I feel so lucky. Even with all those falterings, 25 years, you could almost erase at least a decade of that with mistakes and this and that have caught hold. And now we're able to be with the people we care about, with the causes we care about, doing the adventures we had always dreamed of that Jamie and I couldn't afford as children. And so that lifestyle is available. And it is easier to understand now than ever before, I think.
So good. Well, folks, I really want to encourage you, as they mentioned, I mean, it's ridiculous they put this all in a book, because you're getting a 6-figure education for, $15. In fact, the ebook right now is unbelievably priced at 99 cents, but you got to get it quick. So what are people gonna, we got about 3 minutes left. What are people going to get? Is this like a roadmap? It sounds like it's a playbook. The book's broken down into different action steps.
Yeah, there's two main themes, right? It's really about our real estate playbook and our family playbook. And there's never been a book about this, but when Jamie and I started really researching, looking through, scores of clients and saying, who are our top clients? What did they come to us for?
We didn't really realize that this story connected. We always thought that like our family life and 18 Summers family board meeting was completely separate. Like, oh, this is our passion project and here's our real estate. And then again, our good friend Mike Koenings saw it. He was like, wait, but this is because of like, you can do these things together. And we thought, oh my gosh, we get to be a bridge to help other people do the same thing.
Yeah.
So good. And your clientele, I mean, whether it's Shannon Waller or you mentioned Mike Koenings, I mean, Justin Donald, there's a huge amount of people out there that have really started to apply this family board meeting concept, and they have the passive income life. It just seems like it is the one thing in this world right now that is kind of kicking butt.
And I get really excited too when there's younger people that ask us. So, maybe someone that's in their 30s or in their late 20s, and they think like, I don't have a family yet, but I know real estate's what, and that's always so much fun, because you often think it's just older people, but it's neat to see some younger people that have found a little bit of success in their own practices and their own business that are thinking ahead into, wow, I see your family and I'd like to have a family like that one day. How can I help get there? And so it's really interesting that this book is truly for anyone at any stage that is interested in having that legendary family life at some point through passive income.
Yeah, and using real estate. And I like to clarify passive income. Carry people like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'll never have to work again. What I compare it to is the playground merry-go-round. Do you know the merry-go-rounds that you used to take your kid to?
Oh,
So first, you got to put your shoulder into it, right?
Yeah.
And you're digging in your legs and you're pushing them. But once you get it going, it's that, oh, I'm
He's
sorry.
so little.
No, you're fine. That flipping of the hand. Yeah, there's involvement, but it's very leveraged. And I'm always looking for leveraged income, which is passive. That is passive.
Really
you're going to have to keep, pulling it along, but it's the start that if you get off right, you're going to dig in your heels and put some shoulder into it. But that doesn't how it has to always be, opposed to like a 9-to-5 job.
It's a great analogy. So we're dropping all kinds of links. We got jjplaybook.com. We have the Southern website as well that we're popping in here. But Jim and Jamie, it has been amazing to follow your journey, and you're just adding value to the world. And, we are about igniting souls. I think that's why we're such a brand match with you. We're big fans of all you're doing. So thanks for sharing your wisdom here today.
Thank you, Carrie, and to your great team. We're so grateful that you guys believe in us and help us get to places that we would have had no idea how to go otherwise.
Well, I know Travis is watching. He's your PM, and there he is. He's quite excited. So awesome. Thanks, Jim and Jamie.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.